I'm Kat Antonio of Aldgate. I'm born and raised, and I don't ever want to leave.
And I grew up in round about sort of Stony Lane, Middlesex Street, Petticoat Lane. So I've lived around the city, and I now live in Golden Lane, which is also in the city. And that's me, basically.
Aldgate for me, Aldgate for me is special because it's my home area, keeps me grounded. But I find Aldgate special just from its own history, its heritage, the connection I have with it, with generations of my family that settled here. But also because Aldgate's a bit different, you know, because Aldgate is like, it kind of lives on the East End, but it thrives on the city because we cover these two boroughs. And Aldgate has always had this like great connection with everywhere. Like it was the Aldgate, it was like, or the Old Gate, there's like conflicts about that, but it was always like the welcoming place, and it was always different, and it was always buzzing, and it was just always lovely. And that's how I grew up in it, right on Petticoat Lane, where it was just the heart and soul, the veins of Aldgate. And for me, it was always so special. Like some people grow up in their place and they don't really love it. They want to leave, or you know, they can't wait to get out. That was never me. There might have been a lot of other people like that, but that was never me. I always loved Aldgate. I was always so happy and so proud to be from Aldgate when no one cared about Aldgate.
But Dan, in those days there were some real characters, weren't there?
Oh yes, plenty of characters.
What, a geezer called, what, Prince Honolulu, I believe?
Yeah, I've got an horse.
What was he all about then?
He was just a chap who used to come around all the marketplaces and where the crowds were.
Ah.
And selling tips of, I've got a horse.
Did they win?
Well, there got to be one winner because he sold a lot. Someone's got to pick one winner out.
Oh,
he
blimey.
took it out of a race where it was about half a dozen or 10 runners. And,
Yeah.
You've got to have a winner there.
Yeah.
Someone's going to win it, isn't they? But you've got all the number 9 losers.
Mm. What about that geezer, Jack Strong, with the plates? Remember him?
That's
Oh,
right.
yes.
You remember him?
He used to
I
shuffle
do.
the plate.
Yeah, I think he used to be in the
Juggler.
He used to be in the plane, if I remember right.
When I was young, there were lots of kids. We used to play out in the streets. There were very few cars. It was the city was our playground. It was also a bomb site because during the war, the bombing of the City of London left a lot of buildings destroyed. Where I lived was in a tenement block, 2 bedrooms, 2 rooms, sleeping in the same bed as my mum till I was about 8, 9. Same room as my grandmother, outside toilet, scullery. But it was a community. It was everybody knew everybody. We didn't need alarms because strangers were recognised straight away.
There have been all sorts of people who've come through Aldgate through the years. In fact, it started out at the eastern end of the Roman city of Londinium. So this was part of the Roman cemetery, and there's lots of the historic artefacts that get dug up occasionally from there. And really, from the outset, Aldgate being at that place of entrance and exit to the city has been a place, means that people move through it. St Botolph's, in fact, is the patron saint of travellers. That's why you find St Botolph's churches at the city gates. So they're there where people would give thanks for a journey that's just finishing because they're coming into London, or one that they're just about to set out on, and they're praying for travelling mercies. So that's why you'd find St Botolph's here at the gate.
Many years ago, I had a stall.
A stall?
Yeah, I worked for a guy and he used to bring his goods out and I used to sell them for him. He had a job as an engineer.
What type of things do you used to sell, Benny?
He used to sell jewellery.
Oh, jewellery.
Yeah.
In the lane?
Yeah.
And records you've sold, didn't you?
Not in the lane, no.
No.
You know my
Other
first job?
parts of London.
You know my first job in London? In the lane? Pulling barrows out.
Really?
Was it?
Oh,
11 years old.
Well, in Barra's that.
Barra's
Two
here.
for Benny.
Yeah.
No, for my dad.
And fixing the stalls up, helping them.
The stalls were put up.
Oh, they're already put
by
up.
a man called Marky Phelps, who lived round here. And the man became very popular, you know why? He lived in Golson Street. And his grandson became a very famous radio star. Mark Bowen.
We didn't have baths. It was cold water, there was coal fires. Gas above the fireplace, I remember as a child, there was the gas mantle coming out the wall. And my grandmother even told me she remembers when they put in electricity. You know, she was born in 1882, I think. And Jack the Ripper was running around the streets in 1888. So, and she'd always lived around the area, so my family go back to that area about 4 or 5 generations.
St Botolph's has traditionally been a place of questioning, of searching. It's a place at the gate where we talk a lot about thresholds, about people coming into faith and exploring faith. We talk about having a very low threshold, so we don't make you sign up at St Botolph's to a whole long list of things that you must believe before you're part of our congregation. What we talk about at St Botolph's is that we believe that the love of God is for everyone. Now, this has been historically something that St Botolph's has done. The lesbian and gay Christian movement was founded here in the 70s. The Council for Christian and Jewish Understanding was founded here. And what we talk about a lot is that we believe God's love overflows to everybody. So whoever you are, you're welcome.
I mean, at night, look, don't get me wrong, at night sometimes you'd hear like the alarm bells ringing in the, of the shops where on Petticoat Lane, where there might have been a break-in, might have just been a cat jumping on one of the bells, like, and setting it off, but not really. I never remember. It was brilliant. We had our playgrounds, we had our brilliant schools. We just got on with it. It was everyone else who was more like, oh, Aldgate or oh, Aldgate. There were two sides to it all the time. And that is Aldgate in its, like, everything that kind of describes Aldgate in all its glory. It's these two sides. It's this city, Tower Hamlets, old days Tower Hamlets, not now, where it's completely gentrified and people are coming in and they're going all through the Pool of London, and Aldgate's right in the centre of all of that. No, it was a different thing, but there was always two sides, and it was funny, you know.
Just a stare.
What, he gave you the stare? He gave you the butcher's fork?
Who's that?
When he went in there for a pint, a light and bitter, and
Well, they took the bar over, Reggie and Ronnie.
and he was serving
Reggie
him.
was behind the bar, first of all, so just took over. And he served me. But he don't say nothing, he just gives you a right old glare.
Yeah, clocking him.
Yeah.
The
Like
fa-
summing you up who you are and who you ain't.
Their father used to drink in the Cutler's Arms. And,
Yeah, by Liverpool Street there.
It's all gone now.
Yeah.
2 sisters had it. And he used to do Monday to Friday there. Sunday, there used to be a little gold market there. You used to go
She
there,
dealt in all that.
and he used to come about 1 o'clock into here. The old man, Charles.
Yeah,
father,
Charlie Craig. Senior.
One of the brother. No, that was the oldest brother. Father was Charles Craig.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't name him Charlie. And he was sitting there in the bell with jewellery, selling them to listen to the Yanks.
Who's that, the old man? Right.
You go down to Houndsditch and go down to Shoreditch. That again, Shoreditch was another area which was a very poor, people did what they did to survive. And it's the ingenuity of people. When you look at what people came out of those areas and then went on to do, and it's not just London, it's you look at, I don't know, Marks and Spencer's. They started off with a market stall. Tesco's, another, in London, started off with a market stall. It's only you look at musicians, you don't have to be defined by where you live if you've got a brain. trouble is people have this innate belief that, oh, I can't go there because it's not. It's a class thing.
It was a migrant place. It's where immigrants always settled. It was from the beginning, from the French Protestants that came and they sat in what now everyone calls the Spitalfields area. And then it was, in my day, Spitalfields was just the church and the old fruit and veg market, which is now Old Spitalfields Market after our little revolution. But that's new. You won't find anyone with Aldgate roots who's like definitely over 40 who calls Spitalfields what people call Spitalfields today. For us, it was just a part of Aldgate, going into Whitechapel, back of Bishopsgate, you know, Liverpool Street Way. It wasn't that. So the two sides, I mean, were the city and Tower Hamlets and Old Tower Hamlets, which was always like an immigrant magnet, because in those days as well, that's you put the people that were coming in just like a little bit of a more dowdy place, you know. Well, I mean, they weren't going to go up to Highgate, were they? You know, like not.
And my father was there, my mother, my siblings, and I said I finished school, and my father's words were, don't think for 1 minute that you're going to lay in bed. And on the Monday after that, Friday finished school, Monday I was working in Houndsditch.
Ah, for the warehouse.
£1 10 shillings a week.
For the Ed's warehouse.
Near there.
Okay. 10 shillings a week.
£1 10 shillings a week. And you want to know what I used to work as? I was 15 years old. I used to play rugby for my school, because I was big. Wooden crates on my back. I worked for the biggest ogre ever. he made Mao Zedong look like, what's her name? A princess. He was a most horrible man, and that's how I got £1 10 shillings per week.
God bless you, Naomi.
And that's the same money rate. All jobs, delivery boy, this and that, and then I progressed to be a salesman. Parcels, doing parcels up, all for that money, and I never got a rise for 2 years.
The LGCM was founded here, Lesbian and Gay Christian Movement was founded here because the rector at the time was Malcolm Johnson, who was a passionate advocate for people from the LGBT community, and he wanted to create a safe space, which is what he did here at St Botolph's, and St Botolph's was known nationally and internationally during that period for being an open and welcoming space for people, and also because we had our homeless centre at the time here, and Malcolm Johnson was really an amazing Christian who believed fundamentally that God welcomed everybody.
You still have communities, and the estate is great. I mean, there's a real mixture, and you know, it's a real. People are more coming together. You know, we have a community hall which people tend to use. It's just been refurbished, and so people tend to use it. So yeah, it's. I think places change, and I think people have got to change with them. It doesn't mean to say they change for the worst or the best. It's just they just change.
What becomes of Aldgate? Well, the thing is that some of us are still here. Yeah. We're here. It's our Aldgate. It's our manor. This is our parish. You know, we're still here. We're still hanging on. Some of us are 100, you know, and some of us are just in our 40s, and some of us are raising kids who are younger, like me, who's brought mine back after a while away, you know, because we've got to hang on. We have to, I mean, I feel that that's fair, that why not, you know, like we've got to, it's our parish.
I think the sense of community spirit, which is actually coming back, which is an interesting, there was a period of time where there was no real community spirit, but now it seems to be, it ebbs and flows. If you look at this estate 10 years ago, there weren't that many young children. Now we've got lots of young kids. So you have these generation changes. And as those kids get older, you'll find there'll be that gap again. Somewhere, I probably won't be here, but you know, there'll be a gap maybe in 10 years' time when these kids are going off to university and there's just the parents. and then, you know, if the parents die off, obviously, there'll be another. They'll bring in another family. They won't. They'll, you know, because it's a very family-orientated estate.
The boundaries of Aldgate are really fluid, and it depends on who you talk to as to where Aldgate starts and ends. And you can talk to one person and it would be quite a massive area, and somebody else and it would be somewhere very specific. The question about what we might be here for if the area changes dramatically is one that every generation has had to address, because every generation here in Aldgate has had to address things changing. We're certainly not where we were when this was built in 1744. We're totally different to that, and we're different from where we were even when I started 8 years ago. Life is different, life moves on and changes. We've got the school here, the Doncaster Primary School, which will always bring people into the area, and children will enliven that. We're hoping that the community space of the square, working with Cahyla, we're hoping to really have a great dynamic of working with them to make sure that those people who are here are part of a community. The church will be here for whoever needs it.
I believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows. I believe that somewhere in the darkest night a candle glows. I believe for everyone who goes astray, someone will come to shut away. I believe above a storm, the smoke will still be heard.
That's it, no charge, no charge. No.
I believe that someone in that grave somewhere hears every word. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or touch a leaf, or see the sky, then I know what I believe.
Don't go to the police, we'll all get locked up.
I believe.
Yeah.
We sound like the Dallas boys.
That's it.
Yeah, Dallas boys.
My way.